China, our biggest security threat. Now he tells us that they are a strategic partner. He told Canadian canola farmers to expect lower tariffs by March 1st. Yet just yesterday, we learned that Beijing is delaying its decision until at least March 9th. Last time I checked, partners keep their word. Our farmers deserve better than uncertainty, shifting timelines, and empty promises. Yet that's all this Liberal government has delivered. So I ask, is there truly a deal to reduce tariffs on Canadian canola, or did the Prime Minister mislead our farmers about getting results?
The Honourable Carney China, Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to start by saying that our canola grow the best canola in the world.
Absolutely.
They're doing a tremendous work. And yes, we have a great partnership, a renewed strategic partnership with China to export canola. And in fact, we know that Chinese importers have already secured 650,000 metric tons of Canadian canola, which is 25% of China's total import last year. So, Mr. Speaker, the door is wide open now, and we will continue to engage in reaching a strong global.
The Honourable Member for Portage Lisgar.
That did not instill any confidence for Canadian canola growers. The Prime Minister's deal with Beijing opens our streets up to 49,000 Chinese EVs annually, jeopardizing our security and our auto jobs. He assured Canadians that everything was fine, telling us that we'd have canola tariffs drop by March 1st. But yesterday's announcement that China is pushing back its decision on tariffs until March 9th, we can't now be sure that he's delivering anything at all. So farmers are left hung out to dry. And in exchange for what? Fancy photo ops and false promises. Can our farmers actually expect lower tariffs, or was the Prime Minister merely hoodwinked into making concessions for nothing in return?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Mr. Speaker, I want to reassure my colleague that the new partnership that the government has secured with China is being implemented. We have orders, and in fact, orders have been placed, and the commerce is resuming right now with China. So it's a good news. I invite my colleague to come to us if he wants more detail, but the commerce is resuming with China, definitely.
The Honourable Member for Bow River.
Commerce resuming doesn't mean tariffs are coming off. Beijing has postponed its decision on whether it will reduce tariffs on Canadian canola just weeks before seeding begins. Decisions need to be made now by farmers. Last year, many farmers, including me, chose not to seed canola because of those tariffs and the price collapse. Yet the Prime Minister stood before Canadians and said tariffs would fall to 15% by March 1st. The Liberals promised action. All they've delivered is dust. Did the Prime Minister mislead Canadian farmers?
Hear, hear. The Minister of International Trade.
Speaker, we will not rest until normal trade resumes to make sure that canola is being shipped to all markets around the world, including China. And that's why the Prime Minister and this government has been working really hard. That is why the Prime Minister visited China to help reduce the tariffs of canola. As my colleague said earlier, we are so fortunate to have one of the best canola grown right here in this country. There's a demand for that canola across the world. That's why we are negotiating free trade agreements with countries like Philippines and Indonesia and Vietnam, where we can export this canola as well, and we will continue to do that work.
Member for Regina Wascana.
Mr. Speaker, last month during the Prime Minister's visit to Beijing, he announced that he finally had a deal to roll back that country's tariffs on Canadian canola. He even had a grandiose signing ceremony with Xi Jinping in front of Canadian and Chinese flags. But yesterday, the Chinese announced that they were postponing their decision until March 9th. So, Mr. Speaker, is Beijing backing out of the deal, or was the Prime Minister misleading Canadian canola farmers in the first place?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, I just answer and reassure my colleague that trade is resuming with China. But I want to also highlight that the Agriculture Minister next week will be in Mexico, opening even more the market. We secure market for meat, and now he wants to expand these opportunities. And we're not stopping there, Mr. Speaker, because we have the best food in the world, and the world wants our food, and we will make that possible.
Member for Edmonton Northwest.
Despite the Prime Minister announcing that China will reduce tariffs on canola by March 1st, reports say the Chinese Commerce Ministry revealed that it only committed to making a decision by March 9th. What kind of master negotiator is the Prime Minister when he refuses to acknowledge that the deals he promised with China and the US are falling through? Canadian farmers are looking for the truth, to be able to plan this year's crops to ensure that Canadian households can afford to eat Canadian quality products. Did the Prime Minister mislead Canadian farmers into thinking he got a deal done on Canadian canola?
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Minister of International Trade.
Speaker, this government is working day in and day out to ensure that we are diversifying our trade, that we are working with as many countries as possible. As we speak, the Minister of International Trade is visiting places like Singapore and Vietnam so that we can create opportunities in those markets. The Standing Committee on International Trade just recently have sent 2 bills, one dealing with the United Kingdom, the other dealing with Indonesia, back to this House so that we can finalize those trade agreements. Every single of those agreements ensures that our agricultural farmers, including Kelowna farmers, have new markets to sell their products.